Yo, 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 should do old boy Kong, man. We out here in Olathe, Kansas, man. And we are doing the first in-person interview for our In the Moment network.
In the moment
Yeah,
here.
with the homie FlareThaRebel.
Appreciate being here, man. No
Man,
doubt.
I appreciate you coming, man. I know it was a little stretch because you was out there, you way up north, right?
I guess comparatively speaking,
Yeah.
you know, I don't often come to Olathe, but this is where the
heavy
spot is.
streets of Olathe.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I think what I knew about Olathe was the that car commercial back in the day, and Olathe.
Oh.
But that's like my Kansas City, Missouri bias.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
okay.
But honestly, I'm like, well, if Old Boy's in Olathe, then Olathe must be pretty dope.
Yeah, you know, I grew up out here, man. So we just, I don't know. We always in and out from Wyandotte over here. We really didn't stretch to the Missouri side too much until we got older.
Yeah.
Until we could like start going clubbing and stuff like that.
Well, that's the interesting thing about it, right? It's like, I mean, there's that divide.
Yeah.
You know, culturally and regionally, there's a lot of connections.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of bias.
Tension too. Yeah.
There's a lot of bias. I mean,
I
so like when I travel, you know, I mean, I was born in Brooklyn, but Kansas City is home. Like I was only in Brooklyn for like, you know, my baby years, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But family, you know, brothers born in Brooklyn, parents born there. And so it was almost like being raised in the Midwest by a family of New Yorkers. And so I grew up saying different things. Like I didn't say pop, I said soda.
Oh, okay,
You know,
okay.
I didn't say sneakers, I said tennis shoes.
Did y'all go back to visit?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's like a common thing to go back and forth over.
Yeah. We went back a few times, but you know, but I say that because when I would go back to visit New York,
Yeah.
people would ask me about Kansas City. They say, "Oh, I guess it's just all about like milking the cows out there."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Nah, man, I never milked a cow," you know. And I feel like for the Kansas Cityans on the Missouri side, we held this like this tension of we were getting that because of Kansas. We almost blamed the Kansas side for like Dorothy and farms.
That's so funny.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people like looking, you know, over Kansas City, Missouri because of that Kansas connection.
Yeah.
Which is probably not fair. I mean, there's plenty of farms in Missouri too.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not that different.
Yeah.
But there was an unnecessary tension, I will say that.
Yeah, that's still like going on now.
And then, but honestly, like learning more about just, I mean, you know, the dot, like meeting people from Wyandotte County and being like, okay, there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah. What are the differences?
I don't really know what the differences are, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, I think that's the thing. I think the differences were just created. You know, at the end of the day, there's still some of the same systemic issues.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
When you look at some of the places that, you know, we grew up in and the environments that we're in and some of the barriers that were, you know, placed there, you know, whether intentionally or unintentionally, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of the same stuff. I think that we just grew up thinking there was a difference, you know, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the difference is, you know, the major sports teams were on the Missouri side.
Yeah. I don't know, when I go to Wichita, people in Wichita are like, yeah, the Chiefs, you know what I mean? Like, I always feel weird about it. I don't watch sports like that, but it's always like, damn, y'all ain't got another team.
Yeah. But I can go into the whole history of it, like, you know, because I kind of nerded out because I had to defend that side of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that like Kansas was named after Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a whole thing, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Like at the end of the day, I'm here in Olathe and I'm having a good time.
This is good though because you know what? I think people know like, you know, sometimes artists will come and they'll be like, "Thank you, Kansas," and they'll be like, up, like, you know, that type of thing. So, and I think people feel the tension, but they don't know the difference.
Well,
too.
So okay, so you tell me. I would love to know your perspective since you came up on the Kansas side, because when people on the Missouri side, I really feel like we get so tense about it because we feel like our identity is being stolen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we live in Kansas City, Missouri. That is a thing for us. So when people call us Kansas, it's almost as if we don't exist.
Yeah.
I think that we get upset about that.
That's funny because I feel like maybe the Kansas side feels like that. It's like Kansas gets swept under the rug because all the cool things are in the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like everything we do is like it's intertwined. You know what I mean? It's like we're only a bridge over. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't.
I mean, you know, and I probably thought some offensive stuff about it because I remember seeing a shirt. You know, Kansas City loves its T-shirts.
Yeah.
And it was a shirt that was like it was too much city for one state.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking to myself, only someone from Kansas would wear that.
Like Missouri's not claiming Kansas.
They're not claiming it, you know? They're not claiming it. And honestly, like, I had to check myself. I'm like, man, like, I need to get over it.
That's funny. Yeah, so how did that affect your music stuff then? Like, did you do Kansas shows or whatever starting out? Like, how did...
Oh, well, you kind of had to because there was such a dope scene in Lawrence, Kansas, right? I mean,
undeniable.
Coming up, you know, you knew that you wanted to get on in Kansas City, but I mean, when I was coming up, I mean, I was looking up to cats like, you know, Approach and Mac Lethal,
so dope, man.
And they were really killing it on the Kansas scene. Yeah. So we saw it as like we wanted to have a dope show in Lawrence, Kansas. You know, so there was always that respect.
Did y'all kill shows in Lawrence? Like,
yeah, we had a couple of shows in Lawrence.
What venues were y'all hitting up over there?
Man, I'm trying to think about which ones it were. It was so far back in the day. I have to think on that.
There aren't open no more, or
no? I think maybe some of them were. I want to say like one was like. I mean, Replay is historic. We may have rocked that one, but I want to say one with Gaslight Tavern. Was that like? I don't know if that was what it was called, but
I'm not sure.
And then there was like a really big one that was like
Granada.
Yeah.
Granada?
We opened up for someone at the Granada.
What? Yeah, that's a lot. That's like a local dream right there. Man. It's like Granada's like the spot, man. That's probably one of the biggest venues you could rock out in.
Right.
Kansas.
I mean, you know, I don't think we had a giant crowd or anything, but
it don't matter, man.
It was a dope spot. But that's the thing about performing, and you understand this. It's like when you get on stage, it doesn't matter how big the crowd is, right?
Yeah.
Like when we would go on tour back in the Anti-Crew days, you know, my band before I started going solo. We had this whole thing about it was we would go on tour and I mean, honestly, sometimes it'd be like 5 people in the crowd. And then you go to the next spot and it's like 100 people. Yeah. And we had this, me and my bass player, Cambo at the time, we would just look at each other and we would say, we're going to wild the fuck out. Yeah.
The 5 people were like, yeah, they heard your thoughts.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. And if it was a small show, we would interact with the crowd and be like, this is an intimate vibe right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's all about positioning. But the thing about it was, it's like, if it was a small crowd, I almost felt more indebted than if it was a large crowd. Because it really makes you understand that they don't have to be there.
Yeah.
They literally don't have to be there. And if 100 people show up, dope. If 5 people show up, then I'm going to treat those 5 people as if there's 100 people.
Yeah, man.
But why not?
Yeah.
They're there.
And they're in tune, man. There's no distractions.
No. And I've seen, I mean, no disrespect to other artists, but I remember being on tour and it was some college town in Illinois. And it was 2 bands. It was Anti-Crew and another group. And there was this debate about who was going to go on first. And they said they wanted to go on after us. They wanted us to open.
That's like an amateur thing. Like everybody wants to go last.
Yeah, everyone wants
like
to go
a headliner
last.
position.
Yeah. And so we were just like, cool, because we were thinking, okay, this isn't our town. Maybe you have more draw. And so we went on and we did some promotion. I remember we got on like the college radio at the time or whatnot, and we had a decent crowd. I mean, it wasn't packed, but it was a good enough crowd that like I literally I stage dive, but it was like an amateur stage dive. Okay. Where it was like you don't just jump full throttle.
Stage drop.
It's more of like, okay, y'all, I'm coming, and then they just, they pick you up. You know what I'm saying? So
I still haven't did that. I don't dare at this weight. I don't know if I would.
No, it was good. So, but here's the thing though. So we did that. We had a great crowd, and then there were some people in the show.
Is there any footage of that stage dive though?
Yes, I have a photo.
Dude, you gotta share that.
Yeah, I definitely have a photo of that.
that.
Yeah. And afterwards, there were some people, because this was like a college town, so they're like, oh, yo, we're having this after party, and the people in the crowd were vibing. They really, really enjoyed what we were laying down. Yeah. And so we were like, okay, well, let's go to the party. The party took everyone out of the venue. Oh, shit. Like I'm not even joking. There were literally for the headliner, there were 2 people left in that audience. Oh man. So here's that's cringy, right? Yeah. So here's the thing. So the 2 people in the audience. We're at the after party. Those 2 people show up at the after party. And I look at them like, what happened to the show? And they're like, we just left. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that, one, it was a reminder of like humility. Yeah. Because they wanted to go on last, But I also just really felt fortunate because I could have been on the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
You know, like I look at that moment and I'm not even like talking trash in that other band. I'm looking at that moment and saying like that could have been me. Yeah. Right. And you just can't take this for granted. So you have to treat every single person as if it's a million people. You got to give them that energy because they'll give it back and they'll respect it. You got to respect them for that.
No, for sure, man.
Yeah.
So you said that was which band was that? What group was that?
So that was Anti-Crew. And
I remember Matt bringing up Sage and Sour. Were you not part of that?
No, yeah.
Was that before or after?
That was after. So yeah, Matt Peters, aka Matt Phoenix. Mm-hmm. I mean that's the homie. I mean that's like,
kind of how we linked.
That's how we linked
because he was an engineer at a studio, and then he kept telling me about you for years.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna lie, when I first met you, I didn't expect him. He's like, "Yo, man, this is the homie Jeff," because he's always talking about Jeff in the studio and rap songs, and I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, Jeff. And so just like his energy, just your energy is like, it is not a rapper energy. You so cool. No, you so cool. You like, you chill. You like, you know, you calculate the room. You like kind of, you don't even talk.
Sometimes
I don't think I talked to you until like the third or fourth time we met, man.
Well, and some people peg me as shy because of that.
Yeah, I couldn't read you.
I actually don't think that I'm a shy person. I am actually that introvert extrovert, whatever that combo is. Yeah. I know it sounds like a cop out, but I'm literally both. You know.
No, I know what you mean.
And it's like I can vibe with you because it's 1-on-1.
Yeah.
But if it's us in the crowd.
It was definitely us in the crowd. I think you came to one of the shows or something.
So I'm just not, because I'd rather connect with someone 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Right? Unless if I'm the center of the tension, then I need to almost need to feel like I'm prepared to be that. Like I'm not just gonna like jump in there. So I'll just chill in the cut and I'm listening.
You listening, that right there, that's all you did. When I first met you smiled and you was just listening. But I don't even remember your voice.
But you
like, I don't remember.
The thing about it is I was paying so much attention. And this is the thing. So I later, as you know, invited you to be on one of my songs, invited you to perform at my show. And I want you to know that all of that came from that moment. When you were like, this dude's not talking, I was paying attention.
Yeah.
And I saw you on stage. I saw how you moved the crowd.
Yeah.
I saw the people that showed up for you. And I was like, oh, boy's got talent.
Yeah,
and then I was like, I want to work with him. But when I do, I want to come correct.
Yeah.
So literally,
that's
like,
how I felt.
I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm plotting.
Yeah.
I'm plotting.
I see.
You connected dots. I wrote out the game plan later on.
You know what's funny? That first record, The Fuck With Me.
Yeah.
Right? Because you had reached out to me about that before.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie, man, I was low-key intimidated. Because when I heard you spit, I said, this month, because
like, this ain't the dude I met.
No, because Bob had showed me that beat like months ago, and I loved the beat, but I just didn't know how to come off on. I didn't know what to. Sure. It's advanced, you know what I mean? The role is different. Yeah. Even for you, like you said, that wasn't really your style.
Well, yeah, it wasn't a traditional like 4/4, beat or rhyming pattern. And literally, it was Bob challenged me. He was like, I want to make a song with more of like a 3/4 pattern.
Man, you killed that thing,
and
man. When Matt played that for me in the studio, it was like, yeah, man, you should get on. Hell no! What am I supposed to do with that, bro?
Well, I mean, that tough. Yeah, Fuck Me is a dope track.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's one of those things that, as my music is more popular, that kind of predates some of the stuff that's on the rise now. Like, that was never on the radio, but it was never actually intended to be on the radio. I kind of remember myself thinking, if I'm about to come back, I want to hit something hard.
Yeah.
And then do something later. So that was kind of my just
like
raw
first
MC
single, right?
Yeah, I mean, since Anti-Crew, and we were talking about, Matt Peters, aka Matt Phoenix. I mean, we came up, met at Lincoln College Prep, Kansas City Public Schools, and formed the group Anti-Crew. Originally was called Antipode, but that's weird. No one knows what that means.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like two opposites coming together.
That's kind of dope.
It was like a magical spell in a role-playing game called Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
It's like super nerdy stuff. Hold on. No. Anyway, so you understand how long that took me to break it down?
I see.
And we said, let's just call it Anti-Crew.
But it tells you so much about you guys.
No. This was us playing video games, listening to Busta Rhymes and Tribe Called Quest.
Now, is this the same school that Ryan from
Ryan Marquez
Belief Cycle?
Yeah, from Belief Cycle, and Bob Pulliam. Like, we all met at Lincoln.
When did was that the one that was like a performing arts school or something like that?
No, that would be Paseo.
Oh, okay.
Lincoln was just like, I don't know. I mean, people would just call us nerdy kids.
But you know what, man? Like, I'm always, even to this day, every time I meet a new friend of you guys, it's like another talented motherfucker. Like, what the hell was in the water over there? Like, I know you. This is it's crazy. It's mind blowing. Like, in my circle, I'm probably now. There's another rapper homie. I mean, shout out White Poppy. But anyways, my homies didn't play music like that.
Yeah.
And you guys just got a whole crew of like musicians, video guys, graphic guys, or you know what I mean, painters. Like, that's crazy.
Well, Paseo was the the more of the performing arts, artistic school, but Lincoln had a lot of that too. And myself, it's like I have some artistry in my heritage. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And my parents both brought me up on, just a lot of variety when it came to music. Just there were no barriers to expressing myself as an artist. And you see that in my brothers. I mean, my older brother, Phil Schaefer, Psych Style, dope muralist.
Yeah, it's crazy setup, man.
Yeah, my middle brother, Joel Schaefer, who, Tsunami is this film that just got in multiple film festivals. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then even my younger brother after that, Davis, he's out in LA on just a music management tip. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing his thing too. But all of that kind of molded into like, we want to make sure that what we do is aligning with our passions, and what we work is also aligning with that too at the same time. So back to the anti-crew tip, that's when me and Matt formed. We went to Chicago, and it was just me and him. It was just me and Matt, and we would enter into these battle of the bands.
Wait, before y'all went out there, was it like one of the things like, dude, let's take a leap of faith kind of deal, or?
Yeah. I mean, for some reason we saw Chicago as like, that's just where to go to make it. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's just Midwest, and it was a big city, and I wanted to get back to a big city, and we knew some people up there.
Who was a big artist popper from Chicago during that time?
Typical Cats was a really, really dope underground group. And then when we were there, I mean, we always paid homage to Common. I mean, like, Common was obviously way bigger at that time.
Oh yeah,
but,
yeah.
We recognized that. And that was when Kanye was first starting to come up. So Chicago was starting to be just a thriving scene. And it's always been a thriving scene.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, there was a lot of connectivity there. And but it was just me and Matt. Matt was the DJ. He rapped a little bit. He played a guitar a little bit. But it was just two people. And we would enter these battle of the bands. And then we would lose because we didn't have a band. It was just two of us. So, Columbia College, Chicago, my roommate was a bass player. Matt's roommate was a guitar player. We had a homie that introduced us to a drummer, and then we formed Anti-Crew. And then, that ended up breaking up. And then that's when, back to your original point, Sage and Sour, that's when Matt did Sage and Sour. And they had a lot of success in Kansas City. And then fast forward to that, it was almost like when I moved back to Kansas City from Chicago and started connecting with a lot of my homies from back in the day at Lincoln, we started creating this whole vibe, because like you said, we all had, artistry in us. Yeah. And so that's when I got back with Matt, got back with Bob, Ryan Marquez, and then we formed a music collective called Woodland Ave, which is the street that Lincoln College Prep sits on.
So, because I know I just heard some Woodland Ave, I edited one of them videos for you, right? With the My Country Loves His Guns.
Yeah.
Right? Which is on YouTube now.
Yeah.
But
Child's Play.
So how long has that group been together? Because that's the first record I heard or even heard of anything of Woodland Ave.
I mean, Woodland Ave, just came together, 2 months ago.
Okay.
Like on an official tip.
Wow.
And so that song, Child's Play, which was our submission to NPR's Tiny Desk, which we performed at Black and Brown Bookstore. That was kind of our introduction to this is the Woodland Ave Collective, And I need to also shout out my wife.
Yeah.
Lauren Williams, who's on the stand-up bass.
Yeah, she
in that.
killed it.
And she's officially a part of the Woodland Ave crew.
Okay.
She did not meet us at Lincoln College Prep. She's not from Kansas City, but she is part of...
Does she know that, though?
You know, I mean, she'll maneuver like it's all love. You know what I'm saying? Like she knows the streets, but no, but she brings that whole other vibe and energy to it. Yeah, you know, I mean, she gets funky on the bass.
Bro, she stood out the most because of the just the standing bass.
Just the stand-up bass.
Yeah, I was like, dope.
Yeah, and she brings her inspirations. Like, you know, I grew up on Wu Tang. She grew up on Jamiroquai.
Oh man,
and it infuses in some type of way. You know?
Man, I think even editing that video, like my niece walked in my room. She's 13 years old. And when she heard the "My Country Loves," she told me to send her a clip of that video just because she was singing that. She was walking around singing that joint. I was like, "That's crazy."
It's funny how. So what you're describing, at least what I'm hearing, is that it's catchy.
It's catchy,
which
off tops.
Sure, I mean, I try to write catchy things, but it's like a refrain of "My country loves its guns." Yeah, it's kind of dark. Yeah, right. It is, and yet it's catchy. But I think that's kind of the point. Like, and that part of the song was just something I threw together. It was Bob that was like, "Yo, this is a part of the song that needs to be amplified a little more." He really captured that, and so we took it and flipped it, and hopefully we created a vibe where it's like it catches your attention, but then you understand the message of it.
You know what? I'm a gun lover too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just telling you, the homies just over there doing their thing. Yeah. But even as a gun lover, when I was peeping it, you know what I mean? It made me think about certain things. You know what I mean? The perspective, like, oh snap! Like, there's a lot of depth to this. There's things going on, like, even because you talked about it from like a student's point of view, and you know what I mean, like, it was some it's deep, man. It's a deep record, and y'all just jammed the fuck out in pocket. Like, you guys was just like, it was just on point, man. And you know what? It's so important that you guys are all in sync too. It's almost like Power Rangers or like Captain Planet crew.
When our powers combine.
Yeah, like, in order to convey the message, y'all got to be in pocket. Because had one person been off, that's what would have stood out. Like, man, I'm next person. Right, you know what I mean? But you guys all brought it, so you guys were able to convey that message, man. I hope more people tune in to that, man, and I hope to see it more live too, man.
Sure. Well, I appreciate that, especially as, you know, you yourself as a gun owner. It's like we can still have that conversation about guns in our country. Yeah, we need to. And it's not in a way that's divisive. You know what I'm saying? Because you would look at you and me, and obviously someone on the other side might be like, they would never be able to have a good conversation about this. Yeah. And yet we're able to. You know? So I appreciate that, and
power of music.
You know, hopefully that song brings more connectivity than dividing. You know?
Yeah. Yo, I gotta ask you this too, man, and you tell me if it's like too much or whatever. Because I was talking to Belief Cycle about this, about how like when you guys did part ways on Anti-Crew, right? And then to come back and then years later to form Woodland Ave, like, was there patchwork that needed to be done between like friends and because you know even with the music, we start out with certain people, or we all have different expectations. Even creatively, we clash a lot, right? And there's a lot of ego involved. And what was that process like from boys to men? You know,
sure. You know, and
women,
and all of it. You know, honestly, like you should get Matt on here to talk about his perspective too.
Oh, for sure. You know, he's on the list.
Yeah, he's on. I literally, Matt Phoenix, your name is on the list.
You got to come out.
Literally, to get his perspective, because I can only share from my point.
No, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would say that, like, when we broke up as a band, there were tensions with our friendship. You know, and he moved from Chicago back to Kansas City. Yeah. Started his own band, but despite tensions, like that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like we grew up together, and I think at the end of the day, it was our love for each other that brought us back.
For sure.
Like, it was like, no matter what issues we may have had, like it did not matter. We knew each other so much. We had so much love for each other that it just came back naturally. And you always have, I think it's important in relationships, you need cheerleaders, right? You need people on the sidelines that root for you. And I think there were a lot of people that were rooting for me and Matt. And two of those people, Ryan Marquez and Bob Pulliam. These were two people that stayed in contact. And then when we came back, I mean, especially Ryan Marquez, he was like, he was the person that was like, this is what we should have always been doing. You know? And Bob Pulliam, I mean, he kept me and Matt connected. Yeah. So to your question about like, did we had to mend anything? I don't really think so. It really felt natural. And truth be told, Anti-Crew continued on without Matt, and Matt did his thing with Sage and Sour, and we had a beautiful moment when Anti-Crew was on stage, and we got to perform with Sage and Sour at the Beaumont Club in Westport, which is now Char Bar. That's a different story. Yeah. but you know what I'm saying, and that was a beautiful moment. So it never felt like we had to mend anything. It was like we just rolled back into it.
When you guys did part ways, though, like, what did that do to you artistically? Like,
when Matt left?
Yeah. Just because I know, he's kind of like...
He was everything.
Yeah, he was everything.
So when Matt left, I was like, damn, I got to find a guitar player, a turntablist, a singer, a beat producer, a sound engineer. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
He did everything. And there was a point where I was trying to replace that. Like, I literally went and found an extra guitar player, found an extra singer, extra this, extra that. And I realized that, like, there was actually no replacing Matt. We just had to continue on as a different band. It's almost like when the Chiefs gave up Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we're still going to be competitive, but we're going to be a different team.
Yeah.
And we have to embrace that we're different. And that's when we actually got good. We had some of our biggest shows. I mean, we opened for Nappy Roots. We opened for, the RZA from Wu Tang Clan. Like, we had some really dope shows when we embraced that, like, we're just a different group now. Yeah. And we have to own that. Yeah. And I actually started collaborating. I mean, go back to Ryan Marquez and the Belief Cycle. That's how I got connected to Drew. Because at the time he was a sound engineer. Right? Yeah, Drew Mantia. Yeah. He was a sound engineer in Chicago. So I started connecting with him. But
so were you recording with him too?
Yeah. Okay. I actually have some tracks in the vault that I've never released. Okay. That I actually recorded with Drew back in the day.
You were chasing perfection.
Yeah. We talked about that. Yeah. Yeah, but there was no replacing Matt. We just had to embrace a different vibe. Like, we literally had like a different singer on stage once. Yeah. We had like a different guitar player, and
it feels so ugly. Like, I'm just putting myself in that shoes. Like, ooh, that transition.
No, it wasn't. And but what it allowed was other members of the band to step up, because me and Matt had great banter back and forth. Yeah. And so what I learned was, like, my bass player Cambo at the time, like, he had that energy, he had that vibe. Yeah. And he stepped up. And he became this person. And there's so many different, like, evolutions. There's so many people that knew Anti-Crew with Matt. So many people that knew Anti-Crew without Matt. Yeah. And then now it's like FlareThaRebel is his own thing. And then with Woodland Ave, it's so natural to have Matt back on stage. Yeah. Like, honestly, like, when I started to perform again, I was like, I miss Matt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, like, now that we're in Kansas City, get back on stage, and we're vibing off each other.
That's one thing I brought up with Ryan, or the Belief Cycle in general, was I'm always, even talking to Ryan for the first time, the level of awareness, even hanging out with you guys individually, you, Bob, Matt, y'all got like this mature energy, like I wish I had, because I damn near fell out with like different music clicks or whatever. Like, we always go through ups and downs. Yeah. And it's always like, we kind of just ignore each other and just go on. You know what I mean? Like, but you guys got like this glue, man, this bond, or this knowledge of like, it's bigger than that. You know what I mean? And this is just like, the music is something we do, but you guys have this bond that's like unbreakable, man. And
well, when you say it's bigger than that, I think that's what we've always fell into, because we've all had tension, but we understood that our relationship, our love for each other, our potential is bigger than any issues that we might have. So I don't know what it is, and it's not like I haven't fallen out with people myself. Like, I'm not just this person that just creates these bonds that stick around for a lifetime with everyone. Like, that's not
for sure. That's not what it is.
Human, man. Yeah. But for this group of people, we have been able to maintain. That's for sure.
That's what's up, man. What are some advice that you could give to people that are coming up in music together, or just coming up in music in general, and the type of things that they would encounter? Yeah. That would potentially kind of break, inspiration.
Well, I think that I learned a really good lesson from my moms, and it's like, if someone is struggling, check yourself not to take it personal. They might be dealing with something that you don't see. And so the way that she broke it down was like, let's say if you and I were supposed to go out to the movies. Yeah. And you're like, yo, I can't make it. I got the flu. Yeah. I wouldn't be like, man, fuck old boy. You know what I'm saying?
We were talking about this movie for
right. Yeah. I'd be like, dude's got the flu. He can't make it. You know?
Yeah.
So sometimes when your friends, when your people don't do the things that you expect them to do, understand there could be some things underneath that they're going through.
Yeah.
And don't take that personal. Because when people don't show up, it might be a sign that they are going through some really dark times. So that's my first tip that I had to learn. Yeah. Right? Is like, do not judge people off the bat because you don't know what they're going through. And then also be okay with embracing different lanes. Like if you feel like you're working with someone on the artist side and you feel like you're stuck in the box, like it's okay to branch out and work with other people. Like you got to be able to say like, this isn't working. I'm going to go do this. You go do that. And then to be quite honest, you might find yourself in that same lane again, right? And so it's okay to branch out. Like don't think that branching out is a diss to your homie. That is like, I'm in a different artistic mode. Yeah. Let me go off and do this. And truth be told, don't be surprised if you find yourself back. Because evolution is not just this linear thing. I mean, it's a cycle. It revolves and comes back around.
Finger snappers. Now that you got that in pocket, right, and you understand that, what are some things that you feel you struggle with if you're comfortable sharing this now, like pursuing music now, you know?
Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm at a stage now where it's like I want to be very picky with the shows that I pick because, you know, I think that this is a real thing for most artists is like you get to a point where you're promoting shows. And it's like, are you promoting shows, a.k.a. begging your friends to show up? You know what I mean? And there's a little bit of both in that. Yeah. But I feel like I'm at a stage where, yes, I will have a show where it's like, I'm going to be calling people like, yo, come through, you know? And that's fine because I don't have a problem saying I think you should show up because I believe in what I'm doing. Yeah. Because I know if you show up, you're going to have a good time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I have no problem telling people like, hey, man, you should buy this ticket to this show. Yeah. You know? But at the same time, it's like when I look at myself as an artist, I am also trying to find avenues where that is not the make or break factor. Like, where can I get on where I'm collaborating or partnering with a certain event or certain avenue where there's either a built-in audience or it's not all on me just to bring every single person out. Because I can bring every single person out and have a packed show, but I mean, I'm looking at my brand and I'm looking at my longevity. I can't be doing that like every week. Yeah. I can't be like, oh boy, you came out last Saturday. Hey, let's do it again next weekend.
Definitely been there.
You know? Yeah. So I do want to spread myself out and kind of make it make FlareThaRebel a demand where it's like, oh shit, like FlareThaRebel's performing. Yeah. Like I'm gonna show up because like I know this is gonna be a good time. I know what it's worth. I know the value of it. And I didn't just like go to it yesterday. Yeah. And people are showing up for the music, right? Yeah. Yeah. And not just for because, you know, when you do call your family and friends, sometimes they don't even like the music. They just want to come for you. You know what I mean? Sure. I kind of went through something like that, too, where it's like, I hate to make people feel like I don't appreciate them and their support. But it's like, yo, if you're not into the music, don't come out. Yeah, you don't have to. No, like I don't want you to feel like you giving up something to show up just to be there for me. Like, nah, man. Like, I want it to be about the music. Like, and I want to appreciate this conversation because your network in the moment of like talking to folks that are like on the rise, you know, like this is a conversation that I don't think a lot of people will have. Like a real conversation about the fact that like we will do shows, beg people to come out. There's a level of vulnerability to that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like the most beautiful thing is I don't want people to get tripped up and say like, oh, I love it when someone shows up and I don't know them. I mean, that's dope. Yeah. But like, you can't front on the people that have been showing up. You can't. You can't. Man. And you can't front on family and friends. No. Like, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, and I've learned this as I've gotten older. Like, you put out those, for show entertainment merch. Yeah. I probably could have been like, yo, let me get one of those. Yeah. What'd I do? You purchased. I didn't even know you bought one until I saw the video. Yeah, and you had a hoodie on. I said, "Oh snap!" Right. Yeah. I said, "I want to support you." Yeah, I didn't. I just went on and bought it. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate and it's like, and that's how I would look at. Got one for you. Other details. Yeah. You know, but and that's love right there. Yeah, you know? Man. No, man, I appreciate that. And you know, when you do that, it sets an example. You know what I mean? Like, for people to see that you supporting it, you know what I mean? And you the homie, you know what I mean? I could easily talk, you know who I am, I threw you one. But it's just like, man, it makes me,
I appreciate that. You know what I mean? It's a thoughtful thing, you know, to do that. You know what I mean?
Because it's like, I mean, that's like, you know, if it was your birthday and I buy you like a round of shots or whatnot.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I honestly think it's probably more impactful. That's like, yo, you put out some dope merch, I'm about to cop that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So with the music stuff going on, like, how are you able to, if you're comfortable sharing this, like, sustain personally? Because, you know, for me, when we were touring and stuff, and every time we would come back home, it's like reality would be in our face.
Yeah.
And everything that we didn't, you know, like, do financially or whatever, from housing to whatever, like, it was like a big rush of responsibility.
Sure.
After you living this whatever dream, right?
Yeah.
So how were you able to balance all that, or sustain throughout?
Well, it's changed now that I'm older. I mean, I remember one time our manager booked us a show in Atlanta, and we were in Chicago. He did not book us any shows in between.
Ooh. Was this manager your homie that became a manager?
No, he's good people. He's good people. I love him. We were all learning.
Yeah.
And we did this tour, and we had to rent a van. You know, gas from Chicago.
You guys already messed up renting a van, man. You know? We don't do that, man. We just use our mom's car.
I know, right. We did that, and then we got there. But to his credit, he got us on like a college radio station in Atlanta, and the show in Atlanta was dope. Like we killed it. A lot of fans. It was a lot of fun. Then we had to drive all the way back to Chicago. Oh, all right. We did not lose any money.
Oh,
but we netted $1.
Hey, man, that's on the up and up right there.
That's on the up and up.
Yeah.
But I say all that because at that time in my life, that was cool.
Yeah.
Man, it's not cool no more.
Hell nah.
I would not be able to sacrifice that much time just for $1. So
you did better than us.
Listen. Yeah, at least I didn't lose any money, right?
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah.
So, but that balance is real though, and it's a struggle. I'm not gonna front like it's not difficult for me, like in my day-to-day, my current job, because you know I'm rising in music but also rising in a different realm professionally, and to balance that is difficult, and sometimes I feel the weight of I'm not doing enough for this personal passion, right? Or like I see the potential of this and I'm not putting enough in that because I'm doing my day job. But at the same time, like I feel fortunate that my day job is, I don't look at it as just a day job. It's something I'm passionate about. It's something that fulfills me. So yeah.
How would you explain that to other musicians and the importance of like work and it aligning with your passion and even trying to find something like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't even know if I'm the best example because I
think
think that
your experience of it, man.
There are some entrepreneurs that would say like you gotta, keep that side gig for a while, but then at some point you got to cut the cords and just do you. I found myself in a spot, so I'll just name the organization, City Year, where that helped fuel me because the people that I met were an inspiration, right? And if you're doing music, you have to be inspired, right? So there was a lot of connectivity, and if you listen to my lyrics and the type of music and the social justice orientation of it, I mean, City Year works. So City Year is is an educational equity nonprofit, and we place full-time mentors and tutors in the schools to keep kids on track to graduate. We sit at the intersection of educational equity and racial justice, right? So this is something that fuels me as a person, and it fuels me as a musician and as a rapper as well. Like I'm trying to put truth in my lyrics. I'm trying to speak truth to power, and so there's a connectivity to it. It's stressful as hell though, right? Like I'm not gonna lie. Like it's very difficult to do both. Yeah. And sometimes I question, how well I'm doing at both. Like I'll just be very honest about that. But I mean, at the same time, I love it, right? Like music fuels me. And when I do music and I prioritize it, I can show up for my job at City Year and be better for the people that are, I'm responsible for, that are looking to me to make decisions and to make sure that we are, still working in schools and helping to keep kids on track to graduate. And like I said, it just goes in a cycle for me. But I don't know, like, I can't sit here and say, what does that mean for someone else, right? Like, at the end of the day, I found something that, kind of interjects and fuels each other. But for other people, it might be, I don't know, just get a job, make a lot of money, and then you can do what you want to do with that money.
Or
you could just like align your passions and just be passionate about what you do.
Yeah, like, do you see yourself doing another job and still pursuing music, or like, does it have to be aligned?
Well, I think that I found that music is a common denominator.
Okay.
Like that, like music will always be involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether I'm performing on stage or just like in the cut, you know, writing lyrics, it just depends.
I'm saying with your with the city you're joining, like, do you see yourself doing another job and then, you know what I mean, like, besides, because I know your job is connected to your passion, and
Right.
you know what I mean.
Right.
Could you see yourself doing a job that wasn't connected to your passion and still doing music,
No.
or is that something you've done, or
No.
it has to be like that?
It has to be like that. At least
I feel the same way.
At least in the way that I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to just, you know, clock in, clock out at some job and then turn around and do music. Right.
Yeah. You die inside a little bit, right?
You would die inside. Like, it has to fuel each other.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, like, real talk, like, back in the day, like, city air folks would come out to my shows.
Yeah.
That was
I think
dope.
I heard a little bit about this.
that was dope, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, you for me, you have to find that connectivity. And I guess to your original question, if that's my advice, like, find that synergy. Find something that can fuel both ends of your tank, right?
Now, did your music help you get that job at all? Like, and what it has?
I don't think so, because
No skill sets at all, like,
well,
for music.
no. I mean, okay. As a performer, you know, you build your level to a certain degree of confidence. You learn how to communicate. You learn how to connect with people. These are skills as a musician that have definitely benefited me in my job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, kind of going back to when you first met me, like, people are shocked when they learn that I can, like, hop on a stage and, like, rock a crowd.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, you know, I don't know. I don't carry myself and, like, rap.
Yeah.
You know, yo. You know, like, it's just, there's a duality to it. And so, but I honestly think I've capitalized on that. People underestimate it. I think people have come out to my shows.
I love that shit.
I like, yo, this dude raps.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Yeah, me too, man. Like, I always had this thing where if you want to walk in a room, even if I'm not rapping, even if it's not a music setting, people just stop and just look. I don't know, they crack a joke or whatever. It's just, I've been doing it my whole life, so it's been like that. But I know what you mean, though.
For sure.
And you definitely own that joint.
Yeah.
So when you do go to school to work, like, are you FlareThaRebel to them at all, on any level, or are you just...
I think I'm Jeff Schaefer to them.
Jeff Schaefer.
Yeah. But when people get to know me, they understand that there are other sides to me, and I think that one thing I'm trying to be better at is being an example of being your authentic self at work. Mm-hmm. And I'll say a couple things about that. You get to choose what authentic self you show. Right? You don't have to go to work and be all parts of you. You get to choose. But you get to choose what that is, and it can be authentic, right? So I want to be an example of that. Like, yes, I am an education-focused nonprofit. I also rap. I'm a human. I have these opinions. I do this. I carry myself in this way. I could be in one room with a bunch of donors. I could be in one room with old boy and a bunch of rappers.
Yeah.
And I'm still there. I'm still me, right?
Yeah.
And I think that there's power in that. And I would love for more people to be able to be their authentic selves wherever they show up. And I hope to be an example of that. Yeah. But at the same time, people are still surprised that I rap.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So do your students know you rap?
Well, and, you know, when you say students, I want to be clear. Like, you know, the folks in my organization are mentors and tutors. They're all 18 to 25. And then they themselves have the students.
Okay.
I don't want to take credit for, I mean, at one point I was in their shoes.
Yeah.
But the City Year folks, the AmeriCorps members, they're the ones that have the students. You know? I'm not in that position, and that's an honorable role. And I don't want to take their shine, because they're the ones on the front lines.
Yeah.
But my folks in City Year, the mentors and tutors, no, I mean, they don't know that I rap, you know, not off the bat. I mean, I think that they get to know that over time.
Yeah.
Maybe they care, maybe they don't. I don't know. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, they're showing up for a different reason.
You're not out there trying to promote handing out flyers.
I'm trying not to. I mean, listen, if people come to my show, eventually that's a dope thing.
Yeah.
You know? But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, that's a little bit too self-serving.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So what are some, I know you got Woodland Ave, but is there any other things that is coming up or things you're working on now that you should be looking out for or checking out now?
So the dope thing is Woodland Ave, so people that haven't heard it yet, I mean, look up Child's Play and find our live performance that was at Black and Brown Bookstore. But that was a virtual showcase. So June 3rd Friday, June 3rd at Lemonade Park is the first time that Woodland Ave will all be on stage together. And so I'm excited about this. I mean, this is a really, really dope outdoor venue.
You're going as Woodland Ave.
So the way that it's built is FlareThaRebel with Woodland Ave.
Okay.
And that's intentional because at any moment, I mean, the majority of the songs are my songs. But Matt could do Matt Phoenix with Woodland Ave. And I would back him up. Ryan Marquez could do Ryan Marquez with Woodland Ave, and then we'd all back him up.
Okay.
I mean, that's the difference between like a collective and a band. It's convoluted. Don't worry about it.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm a solo rapper, so you educated me on this joint. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. So at any time, Lauren Williams could do like just a bunch of Jamiroquai funk solos, and it'd be like Lauren Williams with Woodland Ave.
Okay.
It just depends on what we want to do.
Has this been implemented before in like mainstream music?
I don't know.
I can't think of none.
Probably. There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'm not thinking about it right now. But I guess when I think about it, I think of Wu Tang, which is not the same, right? Because Wu Tang was an actual group. Yeah. They were a rap group first and foremost. This is a little bit different, where you have a bunch of solo artists backing each other up.
It's a dope ass concept, though.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I really like that.
Yeah.
I think that should be more comfortable.
No doubt.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts, man?
I mean, I appreciate the Japanese whiskey.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Rathan, man. He blessed that for my birthday, man. And he's been sipping on it ever since, man.
Yeah, Lauren and I have had many, or not many, we had one big debate about Japanese whiskey. And we got a gift card, and we were trying to decide what to buy with it.
Yeah.
We ended up going with Japanese whiskey, but it took a long time to get there.
Yeah. What was the debate?
Well, I think that my side of the story was if I have a gift card, if I have like just new money that I wasn't expecting, let me buy something that I wouldn't normally get.
Okay.
And I didn't own a bottle of Japanese whiskey. Yeah. So I was like, well, let me spend that on that. Whereas Lauren, her side of the story was, let's use this on something that we know that we like. Yeah. Which is honestly like, now that I'm reflecting on it, it's a very true thing about our marriage. And I think that we balance each other out in that regard. Yeah. But, she conceded that we can get the Japanese whiskey. We spent a lot of time. I think that the people at the register were like, what is wrong with this couple?
Oh, it would happen at the register.
I mean, like we had a bottle of sweet vermouth, and then it was whiskey, and then it was scotch, and then it was beer. Cashier. And they're like, what are they doing? Paid enough for this. But like I had this like weird mental thing, and this I can actually bring it back to music because I have 2 albums that I bought because I had a gift card. Okay. One was Jay-Z's Black Album. Okay. Now, I love Jay-Z. He's actually one of my favorite rappers of all time. But before the Black Album, he went through a period where I wasn't really messing with him that much. And I think it was because of the Nas beef, because I was like on Nas's side. Oh, man. Now like... I can see you choosing Nas. Yeah. And so when I got this gift card to Best Buy, way back in the day, no one gets gift cards to Best Buy anymore. Yeah. And I was like, well, let me go ahead and buy something I wouldn't buy. And I bought the Black Album, and I was like, damn. Jay-Z's amazing.
Oh wow! So you've been sprung ever since.
Yeah. So I've had this concept of like when you get like random
new money, new
things. Like get something new. Don't get what you've always expected. Introduce yourself to something new. Yeah. And for us, it was Japanese whiskey. So
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, well, we actually haven't really even popped the bottle yet. Oh, dang. It was so expensive that, like, we were waiting for a good time. Yeah. So, since you have, like, indulged me in yours, I think if you come through, you've deserved,
I'm on
a couple drinks of our Japanese whiskey.
Yeah, man, you're going to regret it, because I'm going to be like, hey, man,
Yeah, no doubt. And Jay-Z now has, like, lyrics about drinking Japanese whiskey.
Does he?
Yeah, man.
What song was that?
I mean, I think it was on that song with Nas.
What?
Yeah. Like his newest joint. Like his newest joint.
I don't even think I listened to that.
Yeah. Him and I think DJ Khaled put that together. Yeah.
I need to be a
Yeah, I can't remember the lyrics, so I can't quote it. But anyway, yeah. So clearly, I'm just as cool as Jay-Z because I drink Japanese whiskey.
That's dope, though.
Bottom line.
I'm looking forward to cracking that open with you, man.
No doubt, man.
I do appreciate you coming through, man. I hope we can do another one, man, and maybe Woodland and Ave come through too.
Oh,
man.
For sure, man. And oh boy, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your 16 bars of hotness on Happy Clouds. I mean, hyperclouds is. I mean, listen. There's a lot of people. I've met people that look at me like, "Oh, you the Bob Ross flow dude," you know. And
that Bob Ross picture, man, that was classic. Man. I love what they did with that.
It was hilarious, but you came on and amplified that song.
Yo,
so I appreciate you.
I appreciate you checking me on that one because I'm the worst. Like that's why I kind of wanted to ask you about how you balance, your work and music, and even with me, it's like. I haven't put out a lot of music because I'm kind of in the in between realm, right? And I'm caught between fuck it, you a rapper, say whatever the fuck you want. Like it don't matter what people think your intentions are.
Nah, it does
like,
matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now it's like, yo, you gonna have to get right. So I'm glad because nobody really pulled me to the side. Like, hey man, you gotta think about that, man.
Maybe don't say that.
And I'm glad, man. I appreciate it,
Yeah, it's all love, man.
But yeah, man, shoot. Hopefully, Woodland Ave comes next, man, and let's get it popping, man. You're the first live interview we've had, so yeah, man.
Breaking them in.
Yeah, man. Yo, man, peace out. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all hope y'all were able to pull some gems out of that, man. So, one love, y'all.
No doubt. Peace.
That was it.
Cool.